Chapter 19. The Ari's Cakes kitchen was really quiet when I walked in the next morning. Vincent, wearing a red bandana, was overseeing the mixer, and Rosa was setting the timer on the wall of ovens. Liz was at the big metal table in the middle of the room, using a piping bag to pipe shimmery dark blue icing onto what looked like vanilla cupcakes. Corey, on the other side of the table, carefully placed fondant decorations on the iced cupcake. The finished ones each had a small silver crescent moon and 3 mini gold stars. Ariana was helping Liz with the icing, and I watched in amazement as she piped a whole row super fast. Everyone was so focused on what they were working on that nobody noticed me walk into the kitchen. I went up to Ariana and cleared my throat. Good morning. Oh, morning, Zoe, Ariana said as she continued piping. What's going on? I had a huge rush order this morning. 500 decorated cupcakes needs to be ready by noon. It's all hands on deck. Cool, what should I do? Ariana paused her icing just long enough to glance at everyone else in the kitchen. Why don't you just help Corey with the fondant? He's cutting out moons and stars, so super simple, but there's a million of them. Okay. I walked around the table until I was next to Corey. Hi, Corey, how can I help? Hey, Zoe, let's see. Can you roll me out more fondant? He pointed to 2 huge balls of fondant. One was gold and the other was silver. You can start with the gold. Take that rolling pin and roll it out like dough. Sprinkle some confectioner sugar on the table first. It should be about 1/2 inch all the way around when you're done. Got it. Sounded easy enough. I picked up the rolling pin and got to work. It took some strength at first to get the huge ball to flatten out, but then it was just a matter of rolling it over and over until it was flat enough. As I rolled, my mind wandered back to my fight with Mom outside of JP Licks. I hadn't been able to think about much else all morning. She was never going to take my side, not unless I found Marcus's alibi witness and showed her that he really was innocent. If he truly was innocent, I didn't want Mom to be right about him. What I really wanted to do was bang out the fondant over and over with my rolling pin until all my anger at Mom came out of me. But of course, I couldn't do that, not unless I wanted Ariana to kick me out of her kitchen. I rolled and daydreamed about finding Marcus's witness and being able to tell Mom that she was wrong. She'd have to apologize, and the Innocence Project would get Marcus out of prison. I'd finally get to meet him. We could play basketball together or go to a Celtics game. He could cook me dinner and I could bake the dessert. Maybe I'd even have my own cookbook because Mom and Dad would let me go in the Kids Bake Challenge, and of course I'd win, and Marcus could be there to see it. Not so hard, Zoe, Ariana said suddenly beside me. Huh? I looked down at the fondant. Shoot. I must have pushed too hard on the rolling pin and now the fondant was way too thin. Sorry, I'll start over. I started to pick up the fondant so I could shape it back into another ball. Ariana looked at the clock on the wall at the back and said, you know what, I'll take over. Why don't you go up front and see if Gabe needs any help with customers? Wait, I can fix it. I know, it's just that this is really important customer and I'd rather take care of it myself. She patted my shoulder. I bet Gabe could use some help. Okay, I said reluctantly. I watched for a few seconds while Ariana started piling the fondant back up until I looked like a mound of clay again. It suddenly felt like a mound of clay was sitting in my gut. I left the kitchen and found Gabe up front, ringing up a customer. When he was finished, I said, Ariana says you need help up here. Oh, really? Gabe said, looking around the shop. Okay, kind of slow today, but I know what you can help with. One sec. He left and went to the kitchen. Maybe I'd get to help with the window display. That would be super fun. And then Gabe came back with a box that looked really familiar. No. He put it on the floor and opened it. Sure enough, it was filled with flat cardboard in the shop's signature blue. Gabe opened a cabinet under the coffee machine. We're short on boxes under here. Think you can help me put some together? It's super easy. Oh, I know. I picked up a box and quickly assembled it. That's perfect, he said, as if it was actually hard to do. And when you're done, you can help me refill the napkin holders. Great. I forced a smile and got to work. Back to the boxes, and it was all my fault for getting distracted in the kitchen. Couldn't let that happen again. I wouldn't. What would Ruby Willow do? She'd put all of her energy into accomplishing her goal, just like she did when she was on the Kids Bake Challenge. If I was going to make it onto the show, if I was going to be a real pastry chef one day, I had to focus on baking. There was only 1 month left of summer in my internship, and I'd been so absorbed into thinking about Marcus that I hadn't even come up with my own cupcake recipe yet. I had to get to work and fast. I brainstormed cupcake ideas over the next couple of days, but it was even harder than I thought. My list included lemonade cupcakes inspired by Grandma's tea and a sweet and savory cupcake that included potato chips, but none of those seemed original enough. When Grandma showed up with Marcus's next letter, I opened it right away, happy for the distraction. To my little tomato. Wow, 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 wow. That is what went through my head when I opened your letter and saw your school picture. You are such a beautiful girl. You definitely have your mom's smile. Thank you so much for sharing it with me. I will cherish it forever. You asked for a recipe. My mom makes the best macaroni and cheese. Just thinking about it makes my mouth water. I know that recipe by heart, so I wrote it on the back of this letter. If you make it, I'd love to know what you think. Life in here is nothing like my life before, but I still get to read books, exercise, and watch TV. Sometimes I'll join a pickup game of basketball in the rec yard. I have a couple of friends, guys that have been here a while like me and aren't trying to get into trouble. I know my last letter was probably confusing. I wish we lived in a fairer world where only guilty people went to prison. But I think the best thing for us to do is leave the past behind us, as I've tried to do, and focus on the here and now. Right now, I'm happy that I got your letter and this beautiful picture. I've been thinking, your grandma said I should call you at her house. Maybe we should try that. How about on August 15th about 3 p.m.? By then, you should have this letter and can hopefully make plans to be at your grandma's house. In terms of a unique ingredient for a cupcake, that's hard. But you know, when I was younger, my favorite thing to eat was cereal. So bad, but my favorite was always the colorful, sugary cereals. I rotated between all of them. I'd find the biggest bowl in our kitchen and fill it up. The cereal would turn the milk different colors, and I'd sit on the couch with the humongous bowl on my lap, watching cartoons. Maybe you can make some kind of cereal cupcake. Finally, here's a new song for your playlist, Golden by Jill Scott. Love, Marcus.